Hi, StarSurfer here with the monthly tarot and astrology reading for July 2023 for my Tauruses. Hi, Tauruses, how are you doing? This is for my Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Happy summer if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. I hope that your June was delightful. I hope you have been enjoying all of this lovely astrology that is present for you right now. As I tune into your chart, I just love it. I love what I'm finding. I love what I'm seeing. I'm jealous, Tauruses. I'm jealous. But let's talk about it, shall we? So, Jupiter, the planet of expansion and fortune, of luck, is in Taurus. It's in your sign. If you are a Taurus rising and Taurus is your first house, this means this is present. Jupiter, the god of fortune, right, is present in your first house, the house of the self, right? As we begin the month of July, Jupiter will be sextiling or making an aspect, forming a relationship to both the Sun and Mercury in Cancer. This is beautiful for you. The Sun and Mercury are in Cancer, which, if you are a Taurus rising, is your third house of communication and, day-to-day neighborhood travel, small travel, siblings, like communication, all of those, writing, that kind of thing. Jupiter in your sign, making a relationship to the Sun and Mercury in Cancer. To me, this means you will be immensely eloquent. You'll be calm, collected, as you always are, my Tauruses. But you might surprise yourself with what you're able to generate, right? Because Jupiter is a planet that wants more. It wants to add on. In your own sign, it wants you to make yourself larger, connecting to the Sun, right? The planet of brightness, the life giver, in your house of communication and daily life. Like, you will be immensely effective in the way you communicate, in what you can generate for yourself, but you'll do it in a way that is immensely Taurus. It's cool, it's calm, it's steady. You might be underestimated, and you might even underestimate your own ability at the beginning of the month to make what you want happen. But this is me telling you, go for it, right? Go for it. Whatever feels like it's calling to you, because a Jupiter impulse feels destined. Whatever feels like it's calling to you, trust that you will have the spiritual and universal support at the beginning of the month to go after it and achieve and accomplish in a way that might be more difficult at other times, but at this time is absolutely possible. Now, right at the beginning of the month, right off the bat, right at the top, we have a full moon in Capricorn. This is on July 3rd. So literally right off the bat. Now, if you're a Taurus rising, this full moon is happening in your 9th house. Every house of our chart corresponds to a different area of our life. The 9th house corresponds to travel, long distance, and philosophy, higher education, higher learning, religion, any of those adventurous, big picture arenas is covered by the 9th house. You need to, if you have gotten away from this, you need to rewild yourself, my Tauruses. You are an earth sign, right? You are so connected to nature, but you need that connection within yourself as well. Rewild yourself, right? Seek open spaces, both within you and around you, right? Anything that feels cramped or limiting is gonna be so frustrating on this full moon on the 3rd. You need openness, you need expansion, you need space, you need wilderness. My 2 cents, this is a great full moon, this full moon in Capricorn on the 3rd, to take a long walk in nature. This is always a good idea for you, my Tauruses, but this moon especially, it will give you the space to connect with the wildness around you, within you, to then generate the ideas and the philosophies that are appropriate for this moment, for you, as you sit and stand, as you are growing into your future, right? as you go on this walk, as you experience and work with the energy of this full moon on the 3rd, like consider whatever destinations or learning journeys are calling to you, because they're calling to you for a reason. Again, I said, like, all of this Jupiter energy feels destined. In the same sense, all of these destinations or topics or paths of learning or expansion are being given to you. The impulse is being downloaded within you for a reason. There's a purpose. Investigate. Get curious. Follow up. Right after this full moon, which I'm very excited about for you, go for that walk. Have fun. Hug a tree. Sing to the birds. There is Mars, the planet of drive, the divine masculine, right? The planet of perseverance, but also of conflict and war, is moving into Virgo. It's in Leo now, but on July 10th, it will be moving into the next sign of Virgo. If you're a Taurus rising, Virgo is your 5th house of romance, creativity, children, gambling and play. This is a great time when Mars moves into Virgo on July 10th for you to up your dating game. You are where the zeitgeist is at right now. Uranus and Jupiter are in your sign. Uranus, the planet of revolution, sudden change, massive and accelerated progress, is the planet of the zeitgeist, of the cultural impetus and movement. And it's with you now. You're in demand. You're in demand. It's funny, though, for me, in a great way, that Virgo is your 5th house. Yes, take advantage of Mars moving into this house on the 10th to see just how in demand you are. But because it's Virgo and the energy of Virgo is very delineated, very structured, make yourself a spreadsheet. Get real organized about how you're approaching the apps, right? Like, if that's how you're going about this. But, leave it up to chance? No. This is the moment to, make a clear manifestation list of, who you want in terms of a partner, what you want in terms of, creative venture. Approach it systematically. Your dating life, if that's applicable to you, but also your creative and parenting ventures, right? The 5th house is a house that is naturally ruled by Leo, which wants just big, bold, brash, but you have Virgo here, which wants exactitude, right? Which wants systems, which wants clarity. Take advantage of that, especially with Mars, the planet, the energy of drive and movement, of momentum, moving into this house to get very clear, very structured, very specific about what you want in terms of dating and creativity and parenting, all of the things the 5th house rules. Yes? People will respond to you. So get clear about who you want to let in, right? Don't just let anybody in, because everybody wants a little piece of Taurus now. Get clear about who you want to let in. Yeah? So Mars is moving into Virgo on July 10th. A week after that, on July 17th, the North Node is leaving your sign. Let's talk about that, shall we? The nodal axis, there's a North Node and a South Node. They are always directly opposite each other, are not actual physical bodies in the sky. They are points in the orbit of the moon, right? Around the Earth, around the sun. There are so many ways to consider and talk about the nodes. In ancient astrology, it was considered like a dragon moving through the sky. The North Node was the head of the dragon. The South Node, directly opposite, was the tail of the dragon. The North Node can be thought of in many ways. Again, some view it as what you are being called to move forward in your life, what your soul's evolution is moving towards. The South Node, conversely, would be what your soul is being called away from, what you've already mastered, the lessons that you've already completed, and you can let go of that now because it's second nature. and move towards this opposite north node that is less comfortable, less familiar, but powerfully impactful if you challenge yourself to work with that energy. So this is one way to think about it, right? Like a karmic redistribution. Like you've spent a lot of time on the south node, which, is a point of release, and you're less familiar, but needing to familiarize yourself with the north node, the head of the dragon, which is a point of hunger and seeking. Another way to look at this is the north node is a place of gain. The south node is a place of loss. The north node, this place of gain or of seeking, of movement towards, has been in your sign since January of 2022. On July 17th, it is finally leaving your sign and moving into Aries. This is 18 months of gains in your sense of self, in the understanding you have of your identity, especially your new identity. I'm sure there's been a new formulation, a new crystallization of your understanding of yourself since January of 2022. How has destiny, how has fate, how has karma pushed and beckoned you to become a new you, right? The north node has been in Taurus. The south node, right? Because they're always opposite each other, has been in your opposite sign of Scorpio. For me, your opposite sign is your 7th house. Scorpio is your 7th house of partnerships, romantic, business, close friendships, any one-on-one partnerships. This dynamic of the north node in your house and the south node in your 7th house of partnerships, who are you being called to become? Like, what new sense of yourself have you gained? Who no longer fits with you? Who no longer is in alignment with this new sense of self, with this future sense of yourself and where you're headed, where you're meant to be going now? And who is new that has come into your life since January of 2022 that absolutely fits, right? You've lost the people that no longer fit. You've lost the sense of yourself that no longer fit. And you've gained the people that are new, but they're meant to come with you. You've gained the new sense of yourself that is meant to be carried forward, right? Do a little reflection for yourself from January of last year of 2022 to, July 17th, the middle of this month. What have I found out about myself? Where have I felt like I can't believe this is happening, but it makes perfect sense that it's happening? What goals have you been able to achieve? What new insights have you gained about yourself and what you want from your life? Who's left and who's come in? The north node is going to move into Aries on July 17th, and this tells me you're going to gain, this is your 12th house of spirituality and cosmic connection, of self-forgetting. So come July 17th and for the next year and a half, you're going to gain a lot spiritually. You might lose a lot because the south node will be in the opposite house of your sixth house, excuse me, that was confusing. The north node will be in your 12th house of spirituality and cosmic connection, self-forgetting. The south node, the place of release, will be in your 6th house of work routines, daily health habits, acts of service, all of that. Gain a spiritual understanding and maybe lose some work that doesn't align with how you understand yourself spiritually, right? You might be in the midst of some inner reconstruction, and it's getting you to a new understanding of your spirituality. And then once you reach that, as you begin to navigate that, because the north node will be in Aries for a year and a half, just like it was in your sign for a year and a half. It won't come back to your sign for 18 years. This is a big deal. You might be gaining a new spiritual understanding of yourself and being like, you know what? The way I understand myself, the soul call I feel aligned with now does not match up with either the people I've surrounded myself with or the work that I'm choosing to do. And so I need to let some of that go if I want to strengthen this sense of self and the sense of spirituality that I've gained. You have a year and a half with the North Node in Aries in your 12th house to like navigate all of this, to let go of those things, but know that this is the beginning of that for you. Now, on the same day, the middle of this month is wild. On the same day, July 17th, we have a new moon, the beginning of a lunation cycle, right? When a seed is planted, a spark is lit, something comes to light, right? That we then have the whole moon cycle to work with. We have a new moon on July 17th in Cancer. Now, this is your third house of communication, writing, siblings, neighborhoods, small trips. To me, this new moon on July 17th in Cancer says you need new ways of taking in and giving out information. You need a new way to communicate. You need new sources of news. You need new patterns of communication. Taurus rules the throat, right? So work with the voice, work with the throat chakra. What does that mean? Affirmations, spoken affirmations, chanting, right? Any kind of like humming. If you take singing lessons, like go take a voice lesson. Even if you don't think you can sing, sing. Like there's power in the throat, in the vibration released by speech, by phonation. And so work with affirmations, sing, chant, like speak the reality you would like to find around you into existence. You have such power to do this, my Tauruses. You rule this. And this is a new moon in the area of communication, which is this chakra, right? Speak, sing, chant, create through communication. And our quality of communication can only ever be as good as the quality of information we're taking in. Do you need to go on an information diet? Do you need to get more intentional about how you consume information? Do you need to end the doom scroll, right? What do you need to do to change how you take in information so that it's more powerful the way you're speaking, right? Closer connected, right? More spiritual. The last thing I'll say is that Venus is the planet that rules Taurus, which is lovely. I love that about you. Venus and Earth is like, again, rewild yourself, like getting connection with sensuality and pleasure, with beauty, because Venus is your ruler and she is the planet of love and connection, of beauty, value. Venus is in Leo, which is nice. It's great for all of us, but Venus is going to retrograde on July 22nd. Venus retrogrades are rare. They happen once every 2 years. And they're impactful because they happen for a fairly long time. They are rare. And it's a personal planet whose effect is felt on a personal level. Now, Leo is your fourth house of home, family, childhood, belonging. This Venus retrograde in your fourth house is a time to reflect on all of those things, on your home, on your childhood, on your family. Are they aligned with your values, right? Are you attracting what you want in your home, with your family, in terms of the way you relate to your childhood? Like, or is there something you need to reconsider? My guess is, because Venus is retrograding here, there's something you need to reconsider, right? Because retrogrades are always attached to those verbs of review, renew, renegotiate, reevaluate. There's something here that you need to reconsider, that you need to reconfigure. Even if it's just like the way the furniture is laid out in your living room. Even if it's just like getting a new mattress. It might be as small as that, completing the home improvement project you've had laying in the garage for forever. And it might be as big as, I need to move cities, states, countries, because where I'm at right now does not align with where I feel like I'm going. I don't feel like I belong here. I might need to change the way I communicate with my family, however you might consider that, blood and chosen, because the way that I'm doing it now is not aligned with my values. It's not serving me or them. It might be something small, it might be something big, but start to get curious about this. Right after this Venus, actually literally the same day, gosh, the middle of this month is wild. The same day that the Venus retrograde happens in Leo, the sun moves into Leo. And I believe either that day or shortly after that, Mercury is going to move into, or maybe it's a little bit before that. It's a little bit before that. Mercury is going to move into Leo. So this Venus retrograde, review, reconsider, get clearer, and get curious about like what changes do you need to make in terms of home and family. And then the sun moves into the same place. Mercury moves into the same place. Things will get very clear here. Illumination will be blasting this area of your life. Mercury, the planet of thought and communication, will be placing your thoughts in the same area. Venus will be placing your heart in the same area. The sun will be illuminating it so clearly. It is a retrograde, so don't perhaps make any irreversible decisions in terms of home until it moves out of its retrograde in October. But certainly, if you're like, I hate where I live, or this thing about my home drives me crazy, and you can't stop thinking about it, and it's all you can consider, know that you are perfectly on time, right? There's a use to this. There's a purpose for it. So just do the reflection process. Know that home will be immensely important to you, always, my Tauruses, but especially, this month. The remainder of the summer. And then once Venus moves out of its retrograde, change what you need to change. If it's little stuff, like, go ahead and do it. And honestly, like, your homing instincts are so strong that you could do the changes now and you probably won't need to redo them. But if it's something big and the finances are tight, or like it's like, I don't know if I quite want to do this, but it feels right, like, wait. But if you're like, sure, like, I don't think you'll regret it. I'm just mentioning that in case it's something that would be helpful to take into consideration, rather. Yeah? Beautiful. All right, my Tauruses. Let's pull you some cards. Again, this is for my Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node, which is a lot of people. It's a large range of energies I am tuning into, so take what works, take what resonates, and leave the rest, right? You'll know what's for you. You'll know what's not. Gonna pull from my Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle deck here, because y'all are my earth signs. As I said, you are so connected to nature, and this is always so powerful. Or prescience, or there's always good messages here for my Tauruses when I pull from the animal medicine. Taurus. How do you feel? My heart is like pounding. But it's not bad. It's more, I feel excited, but it could very easily, like the way I feel now, like if my mental is not in a good spot, I feel like I could interpret this as anxiety. But right now I'm like, no, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. Feels like there's something new happening, but I'm excited about it. It's unknown. Any messages or insights for my Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node? Oh, I don't like that. The Lizard, overwhelm. This might be the anxiety. This is like empath overload. Be careful. Like I said, you're in demand right now. Something about you is like very wanted. There's like jets flying above me. I hope that that's not too disruptive because it's very loud. Do what you need to do to take care of you so that this feeling that could very easily tip the scale into anxiety, that thing I was tuning into, is not anxiety, it's excitement. If you get overwhelmed, you will have no choice but to be anxious, frazzled, like frayed at the edges. So take care of them edges, right? Do what you need to do to get boundaries up, right? Be clear. Don't let yourself tip over into overwhelm, or this feeling of excitement will become anxiety. Any other messages from my Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising? Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Yeah, my heart is like, this is very, yeah, this is where we're at. And so let's be careful. Oh man. The whale and the vulture. We're going through something, Tauruses. We are going through something. The vulture is the pruner. I mean, it's not always pleasant. It is, a death energy, but it's a cleansing energy. It's like, it only is taking away the things that don't fit anymore, that have outlived their usefulness, their purpose, right? Their help. At this point, anything the vulture is here to take away, anything the universe is pruning away, is stuff that's gotta go. It's the rot, it's the dregs, it's the baggage, it's the weight that is holding us down from strength. The whale, spiritual stature, fortitude. I mean, a whale is so powerful, but so graceful. I see it very much as like a high priestess, like moving through an emotional experience, a deep emotional experience, but in a way that is easeful, graceful, trusting, powerful. Whatever is being cleared away has got to go, so that you can be fully and firmly in this energy, right? This process can give us anxiety if we feel like things that are being taken from us that like we need, instead of knowing the reality of like what's being taken from us is what has got to go, so that we can stay in this place of like spiritual strength, emotional fortitude, like stature, like soul power. Don't be anxious if you're losing things. Don't be anxious if you feel like you've got to let go of something. Trust that is leaving, or you want to let it go for a reason. It's so you can get here, right? It's so you can get here. This is what you're moving towards or into. Fully moving within. But this and this are what will get you there. It's the process of moving towards by moving away from. Any other messages or insights for my Tauruses? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Wow, you are absolutely moving into something new. This is a massive moment. We're gonna go in the order that this fell out. The Phoenix. Phoenix from the ashes, baby. This is the root chakra, but this is the chakra of rebirth, right? Something is being destroyed, right? Picked away, but it's because it's got to go. You're being born anew, born again. And then you have the Lamb, which is new. That new. This is like infancy, something beautiful and new. And it only gets there when we destroy the old, what no longer serves, when we let it get picked away, the dead, the rot, the decayed, right? The baggage, the weight, keeping us from soaring into something new. The Fox. A couple things I want to say about this energy for you, my Tauruses. Do not get too in your head about this process. Right? Trust, rely on that spiritual knowing rather than that intellectual knowing. Fox is like very Gemini, very like trickster. It's wily. It's like a lot of mental energy here, but you are being asked to move into like a spiritual energy, a spiritual knowing. And like If you rely on your brain, you'll think yourself out of it. You'll convince yourself that the stuff that's being picked away at, like, right, the life that's immolating or burning up, like, you need it. And you'll get anxious and you'll try to resist this, right? You'll try to resist this because you'll think, what's happening? It's all falling apart around me. I need that stuff you're taking, Mr. Vulture. Instead of knowing and trusting that, like, what you're moving into, oh man, it's so much better. It's so much better. So that is the warning there. Don't rely on your brain too much. Don't rely on the mental too much in this process, because that's what will make you anxious. However, Fox can shift tactic quickly to do what it needs to do to succeed, to come out on top. Now, if you're finding yourself anxious, right? If you're finding yourself resisting this moment in terror or anxiety about this instead of excitement, like, shift the tactic. Don't rely on the brain. Shift the tactic into the heart, right? And then the last card that fell out is the Sea Serpent, which is the sacral chakra. Corresponds to the sacral chakra in this deck, the second chakra, the chakra of creativity and sexuality, because the two are inextricably linked. If you're disconnected from one, you're disconnected from the other. This feels like a rebirth that starts in the root chakra, right? Your understanding of yourself, your groundedness. Be in nature. Get out in nature. Like, connect to a sense of rootedness, groundedness, security. Trust that what's being taken from you is not something you can't live without, right? That's a mental trick, but is something that is keeping you from this rebirth and this spiritual strength, right? Get that groundedness, get that rootedness, trust, have that sense of security and stability, even amidst change. And then know that, like, a creative and romantic, a sexual rebirth is, like, coming for you. Power unlocked and unleashed here, born again or anew here, is going to enable you to create and relate incredibly differently, more powerfully, more spiritually, right? Instead of getting, like, frazzled, instead of having this, like, trickster me versus you energy that keeps you, like, stuck, keeps you locked up, keeps you shut down, right? When we connect to our creativity and our sexuality, like, we unleash energy, right? We can move it into the heart, right? We can move it into the mind. We can move it into the soul. We can move it outwards to others. But first we need it in ourselves, right? This is getting it in ourselves. Don't be anxious about what Mr. Vulture is taking. Get excited. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself, to get out of your brain so that this process of rising and rebirth can play itself out. So you can be here, where you are being called to swim, right? To move, to flow. Breathe. Get out in nature. This is a rewilding. You need it. You needed it, clearly. The wolf. Again, I feel like you're going through this process, you and you, but the wolf is pack energy. It will, and sacral chakra is, like, how we connect to others, right? We are creative and sexual as a form of relation to ourselves, to the universe, and to others. We must go through this process of internal and individual transformation so that we can find the people and the packs that celebrate and suit us. Don't be anxious about this. Don't be anxious about this, right? Thank this moment. Thank this release, because it's taking what is keeping you from soaring, right? It's keeping you on the ground, whatever this baggage is that, like, life is trying to pick away at. Don't get yourself all in a knot about, like, what's leaving you. Trust that it's what's keeping you nailed to the ground. And when it's gone, you can soar, right? You'll be new, right? You can flow. I love this. It is, I mean, this is an intense process, of course. This is an intense process, of course. Like, this is understandable. So give yourself grace for feeling this, and then do what you got to do. Get out in nature, ground yourself down, speak to yourself lovingly, affirm what you know to be true, which is that this is a rebirth within yourself that will have a ripple effect outwards into the people you know and love, beyond even that, to like so much, right? This is immense power being unlocked. It is a new you. This is Taurus 2.0, baby. Evolution. Y'all are going through it right now, but it's all good, right? Just remind yourself, this is all good. This is all good. It's all good. Yeah. Let's pull you some tarot cards. It's all good, babies. I'm excited for you. This is something brand new. 2.0. You're gaining such strength, right? You're unlocking some power that you have been denying yourself by staying stuck in this for too long. Trust and believe. All right, one more. Any other messages or insights for my Tauruses as it pertains to this spread? Oh, baby. The Ace of Pentacles. I love that. I'm a little surprised, but I shouldn't be. Let me tell you why. This process, this rebirth is internal. It's spiritual in nature. The Ace of Pentacles is like the beginning of a material gain, right? The seed of material fortune or abundance incoming, like on the physical, in the 3D. I shouldn't be surprised, and it makes total sense, but Taurus, if you allow this process to happen, if you don't, allow your anxiety and lack of faith to like shut this process down, to try to hold on to the dead things that are being taken away, the dead weight that's being pulled off of you so you can soar, so you can flow. If you do this and flow with this, like, you can benefit immensely in the material world. Yes, it is a spiritual shift, but when we raise our vibration in this way, and baby, this is a raised vibration, we can then create the kind of life that like is abundant in terms of relationships, money, our living situation. This is like all of those material things, our career, like, yes, it is a spiritual shift, but by God, will it have a ripple effect into your material world. Flow with it. Tauruses, I know you, value stability and like material stability. It's coming. It's coming. Look, it's coming. But do this spiritual work first, and then, oh my God, the kind of seeds you can plant, the kind of rewards you can sow and reap, like in terms of money and abundance, stability, security, it will be immense. Flow with this change so that you can reap the rewards on a spiritual and metaphysical, non-material level, but also clearly on a material level. You win everywhere. Queen of Cups in reverse, Queen of Cups upright, emotionally attuned, aligned with our heart. Like the cups are the suit of emotions, of water. In reverse, something is not in alignment. We're not listening to our intuition, which stems from our emotions, right? We don't recognize like the wealth of information and sustenance and nurturance that comes from the heart, because we're too in our head. I told you, get out your head. Like, get out of your head, right? And get into your heart. Because your heart knows that this stuff has got to go, that this process has got to happen, right? That, oh my God, the gains that can come when it does. The heart knows. The head, and it seems like we're too in our head right now because this is in reverse and this is very present. But get in touch with your heart. Get in touch with your heart because your heart will tell you the truth. This is only for the highest good. It will only benefit you spiritually and materially. Your heart knows. Listen to it. Listen to your heart when it's calling to you, as they say. Right? Listen to your heart. Get out of your head, my Tauruses. Get out of your head. Any other messages for my Tauruses? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Any other messages for my Tauruses? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, yeah, something. Wow, that's nuts. The Devil in reverse and the Lovers. Let me let this helicopter pass while I sit amidst my amazement. Let's look. Do we see a mirror? I do. That's crazy, Tauruses. This is an insanely massive moment in your life. The Devil, right? Over attachment, not trusting, not allowing love to flow freely, connecting to something in a way that is anxious because we feel like we can't live without it, those kind of things. But in reverse, we get the Lovers. We free ourselves from over-attachment, from chains that bind us, that keep us from like a spiritual kind of love. You are free now. You are free now. This is so powerful. This is the only choice we really ever have. Are we choosing the Devil or are we choosing the Lovers? You are choosing the Lovers, baby. You are free. You are love, right? You are pure love. You freed yourself. You're free. Bye. Hello. Hello. This is what you stand to gain. I'm literally amazed. I'm amazed. I'm speechless. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm okay. That feeling I was getting when I was tuning into you before I even started to pull cards of like, you feel like anxious, but it's excitement. It's because you've freed yourself from something that you've been over relying on, right? This is where we're at. This is goodbye. This is what the vulture, this is what the universe is trying to take away, whether it's a certain person, a certain sense of ourself, a certain job, something physical. Bye. Reborn, right? Anew, spiritual love, true love, like freedom. It's immense and it can be terrifying to finally let this go, right? To let this go, to be reborn, to be anew. But oh my God, oh my God. Taurus 2.0, right? This was Taurus 1.0 and we said goodbye, right? We got something new. This is Taurus 2.0. I just feel I'm so excited for you. I want you to appreciate the weight of this moment, of you, of your progress. I want to like, you did it. Come on, Taurus. I mean, like, slow clap. If I had like 50 other people right here, I would start a slow clap because this, holy shit. This, what the fuck, Taurus? How did you do it? Tell me how you did it. If you're like, I don't know, or I haven't done it yet. Trust you can. Listen to your heart, right? Know that whatever is being let go needs to be let go of. And like, if you get out of your head and into the rebirth process, like, oh my gosh, it'll be so clear. It'll be so clear. How did you do it? It's coming. It'll ripple out the effect, the benefit. Giving and receiving, overall, the Six of Pentacles. Like, you are able to now, this is someone who does not give and receive, like, well. Either materially, right? Materially, or, like, of their heart. But we're saying goodbye to that. We're saying goodbye to that, and we are giving and receiving in a way that's completely new, that's spiritual, that's from the heart, that's loving. 2.0, baby. Right? Right underneath this was the Ace of Cups in reverse. Ace of Cups upright, like an emotional rebirth. In reverse, it tells me like there is a part of you, and this is the anxiety, that is not listening to your heart, it's listening to your head. Your head will tell you, you need this, right? This is like the card of addiction. An addiction, if you try to get sober or if you try to release it, is going to be like, oh my God, you're dying, you need me, you can't survive without me. But that's a lie. That's your head playing the trick on you, right? Playing the mental trick on you to try to keep you attached, right? In jail, right? Grounded, not soaring, not flying. Your heart, if you listen to it, knows, oh my gosh, look what I stand to gain. Look what I stand to gain. Get out of your head, Tauruses. Right now, the head is not useful to you. Right now, your mind is not useful to you. Your heart. Get out of nature. Connect to your spirituality. Allow this shit to be let go of, because it is only hurting you. It is only keeping you from soaring. It is only keeping you on the ground. It is only keeping you in jail. Let it go and rise into your strength, into your power, right? Into you 2.0. You, if you choose, if you allow, can look back on this moment and like firmly divide your life into of like, there was me before this moment, and then there is me now. What a gift. What power. What power. I mean, once again, this is the choice we have. This is not it. This is it. You are it. 2.0. 2.0. Congratulations, my Tauruses. Congratulations. Massive. This is massive. I hope you realize that. Let's get you a parting message from Spirit, something you can take into this, wow, hell of a month for you. Hell of a month for you. Did not realize quite what a month we were feeling. And I get it, you're anxious. Trust me, I get it. I get it, I felt it. But you should be excited, because it's only up from here. It is only up from here. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up, like fully. We're in it. We're winning. We've chosen love. We've released the devil. Like, we are not in fear. We are saying thank you, no thank you to the mind and the fear and the lies it's telling us. And we're saying, hello, welcome to the heart, to the love. Right? To the growth, to the change, to the flight, to the rebirth, to the new, to the you. One more. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Can I get one final message for my Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node? Can I get one message? Nightwind, 23. Facing fear, subconscious release, healing. 23, 2, 3, breaking down to a 5. The number of change, shift. Let me read that to you. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. 23, Night Wind. This card relates to the disturbed sleep patterns, vivid dreams, or nightmares you have been experiencing. Something is troubling you, yet you are not openly acknowledging this either to yourself or others. This unresolved issue has created fear and anxiety which you have yet to resolve. Because of this, your subconscious mind is processing the issue as you sleep, the fear resurfacing in your dreams time and time again in various forms and guises. This is your subconscious mind's way of dealing with the issue and forcing you to face your fear. On some level, this is helpful. However, the only way this issue can be resolved is by consciously facing your fear. First, truly acknowledge your fear. Express it in detail by writing it down. Then share it by talking about it with someone you trust. This simple process takes some courage, but it is well worth it. Acknowledging and expressing your fear is the first major step towards healing this issue. You will find that all will be resolved soon. There's nothing to fear. There is only love. There is nothing to fear, right? There is only love. I know this is big. You are anxious. You have to let this go, and that's terrifying. You have to let this go, and that's terrifying. You have to be new, reborn, right? There is no fear. There is only love. Feel only love, my Tauruses, for yourself as you go through this moment, for all of the yous you've been up until now, and for the you that is calling you to become it. Talk soon. Bye.